Sure, I'm just making sure you probably heard what Vic Fangio said about the play. And I mean, the one part he said that he expected it, and it was because I know how they operate. Just that's their mode of operations, where player safety is secondary. I didn't know how you want to respond.
I mean, I thought we were on good terms. We had a nice chat before the game. Known each other for a long time, but I promise you, I'm not going to give that insult one second thought. That's what's meaningful. What's meaningful to us might not be meaningful to them. Their concerns are definitely not our concerns. And, we didn't expect to get the ball back, but we decided that if we got the ball back, we were going to try to get the yards. And we got it back with 3 seconds left. So you're throwing the ball in the end zone with 10 seconds left. I don't know that there's a 16-point touchdown that's going to be possible right there. So, that didn't have anything to do with winning the game. So, like I said, what's meaningful to us might not be meaningful to them, and we're not going to concern ourselves with that.
Did that kind of surprise you, though, based on the family history your family has with them?
I'm not thinking about it. It doesn't matter to me.
John, speaking of player safety, Lamar seemed to have taken a couple of shots that may have been late, too high, too low.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've spoken to the league about, plan to, or have any thoughts on?
Plan to. We'll send that in. We do that every week. We've sent those in before. We've gotten those back that, sometimes they should be called, sometimes they shouldn't. But we'll be sending those in again. There was a couple of them in there that were, that we'll ask about.
Just following up on that real quick, do you think Lamar is at all treated differently, seeing as he's a running quarterback and somewhat like Cam Newton had in prior experiences, or Michael Vick?
I think all the quarterbacks should be treated the same. I don't think any quarterback should be judged any differently, in terms of how they're protected. That's for sure.
Has there been any point, even this season, where you've gone to officials and said, "Hey, we're seeing this," or can you keep special attention? Is that something that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I think every coach does. I definitely do that. I feel I feel a responsibility to do everything I can to protect our players, when it's necessary, and it doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, you say something.
How much do you communicate with Lamar about trying to avoid contact? That was something that was brought up in the broadcast the other day.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job of it yesterday. He was getting down. He was running out of bounds. But when you're in the pocket, there's nothing you can do to protect yourself. The rules are what protect quarterbacks in the pocket.
How is he feeling? Because last week he had the back. Did he come out of this game okay?
He did. He came out of it really good. Really, he's in good shape. Feels great right now, and he's getting ready for the Colts game.
Coach, Broncos defense obviously was a threat for the Ravens. How good was for LeVeon Bell to be activated for this one, especially for his blocking ability?
That's a great point. I thought LeVeon, to your point, did a really nice job in pass protection. A couple really good blocks in there, and made a couple nice cuts. He got hit in the backfield one time, spun out. Speaking of player safety, getting grabbed and his head twisted, that was one, for player safety. So, but he made a couple guys miss. I thought he did well.
And how do you think Andre Smith did, kind of being thrown in there and playing most of the second half for Villanova?
Yeah, pretty well. He was. I'll say this: he hadn't played a game for a while, so he was definitely, breathing hard. But that's to be expected. And he was excited. He was appreciative, and he did his best. I thought he did a good job. Yeah.
John, related to the offensive line, I know you hate timetables, but do you have any update on Tyree Phillips? Is he a end of season kind of thing, or is he going to?
No, it's weeks. It's I don't know how many weeks exactly. It's not months. He's on track at some point in time here. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
John, with Sean out, Brandon Stevens obviously handled a lot of the snaps. How do you think he played, and just how has he come along since early in the season?
Yeah, Brandon, I think he played really well. He's really a conscientious guy. He really takes every assignment seriously, wants to do everything the right way, takes every technique point seriously, wants to do it the right way, and you appreciate that, especially in a safety. Conscientiousness in a safety is really important. That's how you keep the ball in front of your defense, and he's doing a good job of all that.
Do you think with Bateman, after having a full week, do you think he has a good chance of playing this week?
I think both those guys have a chance of playing this week. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Coach, do you feel like you left this game with a little bit more clarity on the running back situation?
They're all the clarity is that they all can play. That's probably as clear as we are right now. So we just have to figure out how they fit together with what we're doing offensively, and we're happy with all those guys, and we'll see as we go.
Did you feel like Latavius Murray made the most of his opportunities, even though he was running against a stacked line a lot?
Yeah. I mean, they did stack the line. He did make the most of his opportunities. I mean, that's why we threw it so much. You know, they were very determined to stop the run. Obviously, that was a very important goal for those guys to keep us under 100 yards, apparently. So we threw it.
Now that you've had a chance to go back and look at the film since it's been some time, did anything stick out that maybe you didn't catch in live action that maybe that you can reveal? I don't know, positive. I know it's negative. We're not going to hear anything, but positive.
With the guys, the team, you know, I'll tell you one thing that really jumped out was how strong we were in the fourth quarter. You know, I heard from a lot of you guys, you know, what about the fourth quarter and the altitude? And I heard from a lot of their guys that that's when they were going to win the game in the fourth quarter because we were going to be affected by the altitude. Certainly we weren't. So I was pretty proud of that. I thought we won the game in the fourth quarter. That's when you win games, to be able to do it there in altitude. That's a statement for our players, for the conditioning, for how hard they work. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Hey, Coach, can you describe a little bit? I know everybody was excited at the end of the game. You went with the fans, and then there was a guy kind of pulling you in.
Yeah.
He was. Did you have another strain, or you maybe last minute said, had a good idea, and it just went back?
Well, as soon as I got pulled way high, I mean, I was up there, man. Then I started thinking, is this a good idea? You know, but did I stick the landing? Not quite, you know, but I'm healthy. I'm walking today. But no, that guy is a guy that played at Western Michigan. When I first started coaching with my dad, 1984, 5, and 6, he was a starting center, Scott Sipniewski. And I knew he was at the game, but I kind of forgot. And I'm looking at this crazy man yelling over there in the corner. I'm like, and he kind of caught my attention, like he was going nuts. I'm like, oh, it's Scott. I finally recognized him. So he was kind of like, you know, I don't know what he was doing, but I just jumped up. And then I had second thoughts. I thought he was going to pull me in there like the Lambeau Leap, but thank God it didn't go that far. But it was fun. It was really fun. The fans were awesome. I mean, to see that many fans there, to hear the O the way it was, to see the bowl ringed with Ravens fans at the end going crazy and celebrating the way they did, that's why you do it. To me, that's who we answer to. Ultimately, we answer to our fans, right? You guys are the conduit to our fans. So the ability to see the fans, the joy on their faces, to give the fans an opportunity to talk about a record for years to come, that's valuable. That has meaning. Okay, we don't take that stuff lightly, and it starts with the fans. And to me, I was so happy for them. You see them, the way they were responding to the game and the win, and to be there in Denver means a lot.
You touched on this a little bit yesterday, but do you guys see this long stretch at home as an opportunity to sort of build momentum, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, you know, I think big picture, I would kind of just count on you guys to write about that stuff, really. For us, we just have to go to work on the next day. Our preparation for a very good Colts team. They won. You watch them on tape. They're excellent. They're physical. Their defense is tremendous. They've got a quarterback that's always given us trouble. You know, we've got our hands full coming up Monday night, and that's all we'll be thinking about.
Well, you're not going to complain about not getting on a plane until November 11th, right?
I'm not going to complain about that. No.
We kind of talked about Marquise yesterday, but the catch he made, you know, I'm sure fans are watching that on loop, you know, last night and today. I mean, for a coach, I mean, those kind of catches don't come around that often. Do you watch it a second or third or fourth time, or, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get like my phone. We get on the plane, you know, and you see the highlights and stuff, and I pop them up. You know, your coach's tape is one thing, but it's fun to watch the TV copy and hear the call, you know. So you do go through that, and that's the first one I pulled up, you know, was that. And, you know, just for him to, you know, I put myself in his shoes. You know, here he goes. He's had the couple drops the game before, and he gets out there and he gets open. You know, he's 15 yards behind the secondary, and Lamar puts it out there now, and he's got to go get it. And just what's going through his mind? I'm sure he's like, I got to get this thing. I got to go make this play. And to see him go make it, then to see him come back, the smile on his face, and just to be able to share that as a coach, as you're pointing out, it's really what coaching is.
Just talking about your wide receivers across the board, I mean, Denver has a lot of good cornerbacks, and your wide receivers won a lot of one-on-one matchups that they had to win. Can you talk about, you know, all the work they put in this offseason and the job they did in Denver?
Yeah, the route running was great. You know, the pass protection, especially the play action pass protection, was excellent. So it was a group effort. Lamar made some throws. I mean, you know, the throws outside the numbers, those deep out throws that a lot of people are saying Lamar can't throw. Obviously, he's proven them wrong on that, you know. And the downfield throws, to hit those throws. And And you know Lamar. I know Lamar the way he does. He's going to look at the tape and see the one or two he didn't hit, and he's going to be mad about those two, which you appreciate. So those guys have done a great job. They work hard. We're getting stronger in that room, as you know. So I'm excited about that group.
We've got one more with Jeffrey.
John, we didn't have a chance to ask you about Derek Wolfe, what happened over the weekend. Is that just still a couple weeks away, and this will, we're going to take the roster spot, or is there a setback there? Or you still expect to see him in relatively short order?
Yeah, that's a good question. He just hasn't been able to train because he had the back stiffness, tightness, whatever is in there with that, and he just hasn't been able to train. So we just felt like, you know what, let's give him. He's back feeling good. Let's give him a chance to train and get in football shape, and then when he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and gals.